Hi, my name is Sarah Tarnowski, and I will be moderating today's webinar, Modernize Your GMP Asset Management Strategy. First off, I want to thank you all for joining today. We have a great lineup of experts in the space who will walk through asset management challenges in the life sciences industry, how an integrated workplace management system, or IWMS, can help address these challenges, and how Nuvolo has worked with other life sciences companies to modernize their asset strategies. I'd like to introduce you to our speakers today. First up, we have Vinod Nela, a senior manager in SME for life sciences at Deloitte. Next up, we'll hear from two other SMEs from Deloitte, Abby Levine, a principal and Nuvolo Alliance leader, and David Kaplan, a senior manager. We'll round out the discussion with Ethan Smith, the general manager for life sciences at Nuvolo. If you have any questions at all during the presentation, please feel free to enter them into the box. The group will address them at the end of the webinar. With that housekeeping out of the way, let's get started. Vinod, the floor is yours.
Thanks for the opportunity. And my name is Vinod Nela. I'm a senior manager within the life sciences supply chain and network operations practice. When we think about life sciences as an industry, it's going through a tremendous change right now. And as we continue to recover from COVID effects, right, and as we reflect upon some of the positives and the learnings, and this crisis was special against, we've been put in a situation to reimagine how we essentially develop, manufacture, and distribute products. And anything in context of life sciences, it's all the medicinal products. But importantly, the transformation of supply chains and how the evolution of some of the technologies disrupting how we make and deliver products is phenomenal, right? And the true transformation comes to play within life sciences context is how do we essentially reduce the lead time to bring the product faster to the market? So, which means manufacturers need to reimagine and rethink in terms of their strategies of how product is being developed, right? In conjunction with how the entire value chain is operating in terms of how they should be agile and nimble. So if you think about from a product development perspective, as we know, more and more companies are moving towards personalized medicine. So how does some of the technologies that are impacting this needs to be understood well? And from a manufacturing perspective, as we see more and more externalization and working with the CDMOs and CMOs, is helping the manufacturers to be more agile in terms of how they can change their product strategies to meet the customer demands. So same thing goes with the distribution in terms of how do we ensure a safe and effective way of distributing the medicine itself. So as we think back and realize the fact that this end-to-end value chain is transforming, the underlying assets, whether they're directly or indirectly touching the product, are also evolving, right? And as you can see, there's an explosion of smart assets when you think about how these assets are touching the core operations. And it's just incredible when you think about, looking at a manufacturing facility from top down through the roof. It's just incredible that the volume of assets that come together to make a product, right? So how do we ensure a reliable and compliant supply of products where we are orchestrating how these assets come together? And this is where companies need to take a comprehensive way of looking at assets from an end-to-end life cycle, right from a strategy and investments on how they should think about their assets, from commissioning, operations, maintaining, and decommissioning. So it's an end-to-end value chain approach they need to think about it, right? And while doing all of this to ensure that we are maintaining compliance given the world of life sciences and GMP itself. So with that, I want to call in my colleague David to share some more perspectives on innovative ways to approach asset management and a differentiated way how Nuvolo is approaching this in the marketplace.
Thanks, Vinod, and welcome everybody. I think what's exciting about this time, like Vinod was just talking about, is how the needs of the life sciences industry are being met by the technology solutions that are coming to bear in the marketplace. And as our team thinks about, what is that right landscape? What are the right capabilities that your teams need to effectively manage all of the assets that you have, to keep them in compliance, to be able to report and track all of the pieces of information that you need to run your businesses? We think a lot about what is a fit for purpose solution. And through our conversations with clients such as yourself and other subject matter experts like Vinod, there are some things that people are saying about what they need that really resonates with us as technologists. And a couple of these things, as you can see on the screen, one of the biggest challenges is that the life sciences industry has very specific requirements that are becoming more and more complicated, and that the systems that manage these GMP environments need to be designed specifically to handle all of those complexities from a compliance perspective, from a reporting perspective, from the different types of equipment that are within your care. Is that with that in mind that we think that there's a leading practice of selecting solutions that are specifically designed for this type of work. There are plenty of solutions on the marketplace that can do some of these things, but the idea of building something from the ground up that is specifically designed for these, these challenges and opportunities is where we see the market going. Similarly, what we see is that a lot of clients that have grown over time through acquisition have multiple systems in place, and they're trying to figure out how to bring it all together into one enterprise solution. And to us, across all industries, the more that you can have an enterprise solution for the data, the workflows, for the the compliance challenges, it allows you to standardize, to be consistent, and to have a single pane of glass to see all of the information that you need. And that certainly is something that we recommend. Additionally, what we find is that there's so much more overlap in terms of what these different systems do. You have a facilities view of the world, you have an asset management view of the world, you have a real estate view of the world, you have calibration, and you have other compliance reporting solutions. And the more that those things can either be integrated or built in the same platform provides a real advantage for your teams as they work day to day. And the advantage comes from orchestration of having different stakeholders across your organization be able to feed off of the same information and to send work between groups of people who might naturally be more siloed. Facilities, IT, real estate, your manufacturing teams, your quality teams. The more that they can be working out of the same system, the better the orchestration, coordination, and even automation and response comes to bear. That's why we see that there's this advantage for organizations that sort of see this system as a collection of all of those different needs rather than having a siloed approach. We also see that organizations have spent, have invested heavily in large enterprise tools beyond just asset management and EAM. They have service management tools, they have ERP. And so there's this tailwind from an investment point of view of being able to find solutions that sit within those larger enterprise solutions. So being able to tie into your service management portal, to be able to tie into your financial reporting, tie into your talent management, and all the things that, allow your teams to operate more efficiently for your other stakeholders outside of GMP processes to be able to know what's going on, to have access to your information, for your end users to have one place to go for all of their needs. That always adds a lot of benefits to your organization. And I think from a technology perspective, there's a lot of risk mitigation and building tools on top of large enterprise platforms that are already in place, data quality and protection, cyber risk, leveraging those teams that already are in place for those enterprise tools. All of those are benefits beyond just the day-to-day process management. Finally, we live in a world where, people who do the day-to-day work, who are out there fixing equipment, maintaining equipment, calibrating equipment, they are used to a certain level of technological ease at their fingertips in their daily lives. We all use our mobile devices for, ordering our groceries, buying our, airline tickets, for, making reservations at restaurants. And so the idea that, empowering your colleagues to have that same ease of use with a mobile application for doing their daily work, that is seamless in terms of capability, but also efficient to use, allows them to be able to move and keep the data up to date without going back and re-uploading or retyping something into another system offline. That is certainly where all of this technology is going. And so finding a solution that actually, empowers people to have that mobile capability within the parameters of your security requirements is something that we look for organizations to do. And so, as we look across the landscape of what those needs are, we think about this tech stack for the life sciences GMP solution. The closer that we can get to be fit for purpose across all of these different requirements, we think that organizations have more success in managing the day-to-day operations of their equipment, the overall life cycle of their equipment, to stay within their regulatory and compliance requirements, to be able to feed information to your executives for decision making. And so, as our team has been looking around at the marketplace, we have identified some that we think really sort of fit the bill. And I'll turn it over to the leader of our practice, Abby Levine, to talk more about that.
Thanks so much, David. Hi, everybody. I'm Abby Levine, and I am the Deloitte partner that leads our Nuvolo Alliance. And I'm super excited to be here today to share with you a little bit about Deloitte and Nuvolo's working relationship. We established the Alliance in 2019, really recognizing the opportunity to bring a cloud-based solution, SaaS solution, to our clients that would really help them address some of their biggest challenges around facilities management, space management, enterprise asset management. And so we were super excited to meet the folks from Nuvolo, to embark on this alliance together, and to bring a full suite IDMS functionality with custom applications to really provide a comprehensive solution to our clients. By delivering a combined EAM and IDMS solution built on the ServiceNow platform, this offering brings together an organization's real estate, facilities, asset management, entity, technology services on a single source of the truth to streamline our clients' core business operations. We are Nuvolo's premier platform integrator, and I'm super excited to be able to play that role. And Deloitte, in that capacity, is helping some of the world's largest organizations transform their business through the power of the Nuvolo Connected Workplace. When I think about the partnership, a couple of things that I'd like to tell you is that while the partnership is relatively young, we've had much success to date, and have been fortunate to have over 40 successful implementations working together. And Deloitte has grown our team of Nuvolo practitioners to over 100. And we are specifically focused a lot of our efforts on life sciences organizations and working with Nuvolo as their life sciences go-to-market partner. In that capacity, we're working with organizations that are domestic as well as global. And we have become a certified Nuvolo reseller. Our success within Nuvolo has been enabled by our extensive history working with ServiceNow. We have over 1,000 ServiceNow professionals. We have active engagements in over 180 different countries. And we are many years over a global top tier ServiceNow partner. We have served over 75 of the top Fortune 100 clients within some capacity of ServiceNow services, and have served 11 of 15 of the top cabinet level departments. And we have over 2,000 ServiceNow certifications. We also bring to this equation specifically for life sciences companies and organizations. We have extensive life sciences industry expertise, and we're able to bring that to our collaboration with Nuvolo in serving this really important community in the marketplace. One other thing that I would tell you is that when we think about serving life sciences organizations, we think that the Deloitte and Nuvolo partnership is differentiated not only in the ability to bring a great end-to-end real estate facilities, asset management, and technology solution to these organizations to help them, address their, significant challenges around the real estate life cycle, but also that we're able to kind of bring to that a strong understanding, extensive experience in enabling the different elements of the real estate life cycle and understanding the processes that these solutions are enabling. And then in that capacity, also understanding them really with a specific focus on life sciences organizations and the challenges that they face across their broad range of facilities and their broad range of assets. So very excited to be able to join you all today to tell you a little bit about the Deloitte Nuvolo Alliance. And with that in mind, I'm going to hand off to my colleague, Ethan Smith. He is the general manager of Nuvolo's life sciences product and solution. And with that, Ethan.
Thanks, Abby. So now we'll transition and start talking about the connected workplace for life sciences from Nuvolo. And what that means and how we approach it is that we've built and bundled a set of applications into a suite known as the Connected Workplace for Life Sciences, seen here in the dark blue. We start with the Now platform, which is an enterprise platform. It's widely adopted and used across industries and also in life sciences as well. And on that platform, we've built a number of capabilities around audit and compliance to meet Part 11, Annex 11, and also GXP requirements for assets, facilities, spaces, et cetera. And on top of that, we have a set of applications that provide the capabilities and features needed to manage assets in the regulated environment of life sciences, starting specifically with our maintenance for life sciences application, which also includes calibration, as well as asset management, work order management. And we have calibration specifically as part of maintenance as opposed to a separate application, because our view is that calibration is a core component of maintaining any kind of regulated asset. You can't leverage lab equipment or manufacturing equipment and use it for GMP processes if it hasn't been properly calibrated in the right time frame. So that is part of our maintenance application. Likewise, facilities and space are also part of Connected Workplace for Life Sciences, and we treat space as we would any other asset, meaning you can apply GMP or other regulatory requirements to a space, making sure that it can be used for certain processes around your manufacturing or around your lab. In addition, our mobile application is included here, as well as warehouse and physical inventory. And the real value and power is that you have all of these capabilities in a single suite, in a single IWMS, versus a patchwork of legacy applications that are siloed across quality and real estate and facilities and manufacturing. Bringing it all together in one suite and on an extensible platform makes really brings out the value of Connected Workplace for Life Sciences. And as we expand the aperture out from there, we also have solution extensions, as we call them, that are really the same in terms of being applications as the apps that are within Connected Workplace for Life Sciences, but these span across industry. So this is our real estate application, our capital projects and planning application, sustainability, as well as operational technology security, or OT security. Many of you may be familiar with cybersecurity or information technology security, which is really IT assets. Our OT security application focuses on operational technology. So the exact manufacturing and lab assets and equipment that you're using in those operations that don't necessarily generate data, but they're operational technology connected to the network, and as such can be susceptible to external hacking for disabling, or in worst case, actually modifying or damaging the functionality of those assets. Bringing all of this together extends and enhances the power of the Connected Workplace for Life Sciences. And then as we pull all the way out to the white box here, this is again where we leverage the power of the platform for a seamless and consistent user experience across any of the ServiceNow applications that you might also already be using in your organization. So end users on the left side here have that same portal view. They also have this same mobile application user experience for things like their notifications, any of their dashboards, and of course for submitting requests or work orders. And on the right side, the fulfillers, or more the technicians, the full users of the application, have a similar and consistent user experience across the workflows that they're managing, any of the analytics and reporting that they're doing. So that's how we think of Connected Workplace for Life Sciences and how we introduce it to the market. And speaking of the market, as we look at the recognition that we're receiving from analysts and partners in the market, we're really proud of several of them. And there are a number that we have collected over the years in the center here from analysts like Gartner, from the Inc. 500 list, and very importantly, from ServiceNow as well. They were an early investor in Nuvolo as an application built on top of the platform. We're an elite level partner, which is the top level partner for ServiceNow. We're also their global partner of the year last year for an application development partner. So lots of great credentials and market recognition from that side. But the two on the outside are probably the most important and most current today. On the left, we've just been included in Verdantix's market overview, specifically for facilities in the life sciences industry. And this is really important to me in particular and the organization, that we're not just still being seen generically, but seen for our capabilities unique to life sciences. And on the right, we're recently recognized as a key leader all the way in the top right of IDC's MarketScape report on SaaS CMMS applications. So this is only looking at vendors that are new and modern, built on pure play cloud. And you can see recognized as a leader, both for our strategy in terms of where we're going, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, as well as our capabilities, so what we're delivering today. And as much as we're proud and happy to see all of this market recognition from the analyst community, what really matters to us the most is client recognition. So a few quotes here from some of our existing clients in terms of the value that they are seeing from Nuvolo and from Connected Workplace for Life Sciences. So starting bottom left, one of our bigger customers, able to keep their operations running smoothly with a very supportive and positive 12-week implementation experience. So that's a very fast time to value for a large company here. And that's one of the things that we focus on with the platform, is being able to roll it out and deliver value very quickly, even to large customers and accounts. Moving up, we have another customer who says that they've chosen Nuvolo because it's the only cloud-based IWMS that understands life sciences and that is validated. And that's true. And we're glad to see that recommendation coming through, and that recognition for our focus on the industry and for providing additional documentation to support validation. And one of the best ones is right in the center there at the top, is that we've decreased this client's average audit time from approximately 5 business days down to just 1 day. And you think about that, you've gone from a week down to a day for their audits that they're performing through the system, which is fantastic to see. And then continuing around, the platform is really a game changer given the industry focus and the enterprise platform architecture. That one makes me particularly happy. It's almost a perfect encapsulation of our value proposition, which is both the platform, that enterprise platform that we're built on, and then bringing deep industry expertise and focus. And last but not least here, you see on the bottom right that Nuvolo has allowed one of our customers to configure their service management platform to be tailored to their exact needs and has exceeded their business's expectations. You can probably guess this is an IT leader's quote here from, it's actually from one of our pharmaceutical customers, one of our larger ones. And you can tell that they're really focused in on the fact that it's configurable. So, an IT person cares heavily about that. So we're not customizing, but probably that most important part right at the end there is that we've exceeded their business's expectations, meaning their business partner, their end customer internally has been very pleased with the application and the implementation. And speaking of that, one of the things that we try very hard to do is to ensure that our applications and our capabilities really are designed for the entire life sciences industry, meaning we're suited for any size organization as well as the maturity of an organization. So starting with the large pharma, the mature organizations, they really love Nuvolo and choose us because of a few key factors, specifically that we enable them to leverage their existing investments in the Now platform, including validation. So things that they have learned over time, most big pharma has implemented Now at some level, and they're able to get even more value out of that existing investment. Similar to that, we're promoting and extending that consistent user experience. I talked about that a couple slides ago. So if you're using ITSM or HR or some of the other ServiceNow applications, you're going to see a very similar and consistent user experience. We're highly configurable to meet unique business needs. You heard that in the quote before, which means we can tackle the complex requirements of the industry. Of course, we meet Part 11 and Annex 11, and many vendors might have this one highlighted and at the top of the list. We know that this is table stakes for this industry. So all of those capabilities are there, and having them there enables us to do all of the other great things from a feature function standpoint. We're fully ready and support globalization and localization. So accessible anywhere in the world in a highly performant manner, leveraging the ServiceNow data center and infrastructure, and also localized, whether it's currencies, languages, specific requirements that might extend a process for a very, very particular market segment. That's been successful. And last but not least for these customers, is actually reusing configurations and integrations in and out of the Now platform. So the classic example here is single sign-on. Companies already implemented Now, probably enabled single sign-on integration. You don't need to redo that. We use that exact same SSO connection. Same for any other transaction applications that may have been integrated to the platform. And as we look at kind of the middle of the market, emerging organizations that can be quite large, but are still maybe building out their infrastructure, they're getting all of these benefits. And in addition, being able to rapidly scale, even if they're not yet using Now. We have multiple ways to do that, to deploy the applications, even in an environment where a company may not have an existing ServiceNow footprint. And of course, for those who do have a Now footprint, we can accelerate the time to value by reusing any of those existing configs and integrations, similar to large pharma. Additionally, we provide out-of-the-box best practices. So you don't have to start with a blank whiteboard in workshops and design your process. You can rather react to and enhance and expand our best practice configuration. And lastly here, we're cloud native and we're pre-validated. So most organizations in any kind of selections today around technology, it has to be cloud. Of course, we are. And bringing the pre-validation simplifies the testing process and getting live in the GMP space. And for the earlier stage organizations, startups, small biotechs, and the like, really a focus on our out-of-the-box workflows and configurations for best practices. And in addition, we have what we call an SMB or small mid-sized business solution that's inexpensive and is very easy to deploy. And we say deploy versus implement because there isn't a project to be done to implement. It's really bringing your users and your data in and starting to use the application straight away. There is zero client infrastructure required here. You don't even need a cloud instance. We bring everything for you in a multi-tenant environment that your users then just access. And this offering is fully validated all the way through PQ, in addition to the IQ and OQ that we do for our base product. So a very inexpensive and rapid way to deploy for smaller customers that don't have the complex requirements of some of our larger organizations. So continuing on the path of talking about our customers and the success that they've had with us. So one of our medical instrument companies and clients is really focused on the space application, which is a part of the connected workplace for life sciences. And they've really been able to generate a lot of value by consolidating reports and facilitating their space chargebacks and allocations. This is a large company, large real estate and facilities footprint around the world. Being able to track the chargebacks and the cost of that space is very important to them. And also maintaining their existing processes. They had unique processes in the different locations and geographies. And rather than forcing their business to go through lots of change, to stick to a process that we as the software vendor prescribed, we're able to configure to their existing processes and minimize the impact of change. And lastly, creating actionable dashboards and reports that have helped them to identify their gaps and then prioritize them for addressing as they move forward. One of our pharmaceutical customers that's focused very heavily on GMP and non-GMP asset management, kind of getting a handle on all of their assets, has streamlined their facilities and asset management functions. They've used the user interfaces that I talked about early on to really improve their technicians' efficiency and scheduling and improve the wrench time versus the paperwork time or the scheduling time around both corrective and preventative maintenance. And ultimately, they're then able to make better business decisions given that increased visibility on how their resources are allocated. So, a classic ask is to be able to do more with less, or do more with the same, or do more faster than you were doing it historically. Classic productivity measures that Connected Workplace has really been helpful for our pharma customers in being able to do that. So that's a lot about where we are today, how we've gotten here, how our customers are generating value and success. But we're also always thinking about the future. Part of my role at Nuvolo is to be looking at where is the industry going? How can we solve problems before they become large-scale problems? And I'm not going to read through all of the details on this slide, but a couple of takeaways. We have a dedicated product roadmap for life sciences. We focus on three major themes, being regulatory, productivity, and analytics. Regulatory requirements, of course, always take the highest priority. If and when there are changes to those, we will adjust to meet them and provide those capabilities. Productivity, talked a little bit about this on the prior slide, being able to do more, easier, faster, better, and for less cost. And ultimately analytics, so we can make and drive better decisions. And you can see in the first column here, we've ticked all the boxes over this past year and prior to that, and making sure all of the capabilities are there. And where we are really focused now and 22 and beyond is extending and expanding those capabilities from fully featured calibration management, which is debuting in our upcoming release in October, to things that are really new and on the horizon, like digital alignment between quality and manufacturing. So really starting to tie the manufacturing assets and performance to the actual quality output of the drug products that are being produced. And of course, you'll see in the bottom right here, lots of focus on smart maintenance, utilization data, and starting to bring AI in to look at the metrics that are coming out of the system to help us make better decisions around the equipment, around the maintenance costs of that equipment and the performance related to it. So this is something we continue to keep our eye on and evolve. And we're happy to have conversations about our full roadmap. This is just a high level view of kind of how we think about it and the themes that we're focused on. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of Nuvolo and the connected workplace for life sciences. And now I'll hand it back to Sarah to wrap up and move us to the Q&A portion.